Penelope, because we're thinking she really is, a contender for the futurity classes, we are saving her for a class at the NSBA World. So we're not going to show her too much before then, because it's a limited class. So she has to have not won X amount of dollars before then. So she might go into a couple of green hunter and saddle classes before then for some experience, but not very much. So yeah, they're both kind of on the hunter under saddle path, and I'm really hoping that, I don't really want to saddle myself with too much, because while I love showing hunter under saddle, I'm just now getting back into riding consistently, and that's like a whole other ball game, adding English into it. And so I need to have something at home I can ride in the English to get myself better, to be able to show them. Because if I just try to go get on a horse in an English saddle right now, I would be doing that horse a disservice. Not only to their backs, because my balance isn't there, but also I want my babies to be shown to their best, right? And so I want myself to be able to do that. So yeah, right now they're just being both shown a little bit over the summer, but more so schooling showing. And then this fall is when they'll both kind of hit the show pen. We're freaking trying, and it's not Unbridle Your Dreams' fault, because every time we get a shipment, the semen looks fantastic. Ginger, I don't know what's happening. She's having some sort of issue this year staying clean. I don't know if she's having, some sort of response to the extender. I don't know. We did almost attempt to breed her last weekend. I was out of town, and I ordered semen while I was out of town, and then we had to cancel it because she ovulated well before we could get her in there, or we could get it in there. And so we kind of missed it this cycle, just because she's just been really weird. And so, if it doesn't work out this year, it's not the end of the world. We'll try again next year, but we're trying. We're just getting a little late. Okay, so Wheezy and Penelope, they are in training in Georgia, and unfortunately my trainer in Georgia, their training schedule does not line up amazingly with the rest of my horses who are going to shows. They go to kind of the opposite. So right now there's a big show going on called the Madness. So Penelope's at that show. And then it's okay, well, or no, it's about to be going on. So it's she's going to that show, but I'm going to be here in Tennessee. And then the next show I'm going to, they're taking a rest from, and things like that. So that's why I haven't gotten to really see her a whole lot. She's doing fantastic, and so is Wheezy. So we're kind of in that in between era of okay, do we pursue hunter under saddle with Wheezy and try to give her a shot for a year to do some of the futurities now that they have 4 and 5-year-old stuff, or do we just go straight into English all-around events? So she's going to be hauling to more shows this summer and this fall, and our hope is that she is legged up enough, and even if she's not going to go in and be a contender to win, we would like for her to go show her stuff in the English versatility at the World Show, because it's very similar. So the regular English versatility at the horse shows that we're kind of pushing for, it's just a class, it's a pattern class, but at the World Show they're doing a challenge, just kind of like they did with the Western Pleasure Versatility Challenge every year. So it's halter, hunter under saddle, and then the pattern, and this will be its first year, and VS Code Red is sponsoring it. And so I really want to be able to show this class through one of my own horses, and show people what it can offer for you and your horse if within AQHA you haven't really had a spot for you and your horse, because it is kind of a new class that offers different things. So that's a hope for Wheezy. We really hope for that, and that's in November, so we have months. She's going to be going to shows until then, and potentially might go into a couple of green hunter under saddle classes, just to get her in the pen and get her used to some stuff. That's a toughie, because I'm not purchasing any embryos for the 2027 season. And was hands down, without a doubt, Benedict, because I had to purchase that embryo from the Mare Waffle House. Very much the most expensive baby. But then for 2027, it's all my own mares. So right now we have one Kennedy baby aboard. We had 2. then Raven must have absorbed it. So we're going to try again for that. We have 1 Kennedy baby. We have 2 Buttercup babies. We have 2 Earlene babies. We have 2 Trudy babies. You know, I don't really, like, I think Trudy and Kennedy could be considered neck and neck, but maybe Kennedy's baby might be the most. But it's like, I don't even know what dollar sign to put on there because it's not for sale. So, yeah, I don't know. Without having to, like, purchase the embryo and it's all my own mares, I kind of have some really awesome mare power right now. So I don't know who I would say is like probably Kennedy, but the others are not far behind, and my date is here. So my Congress schedule is extremely tentative. The only ones that are pretty like solid are, you know, I got Hollywood with the intent of showing him at the big shows in the Western Riding and Trail. So that means the amateur and level 1 amateur Western Riding, and then potentially the level 1 trail. We're not doing the amateur trail just because it's probably a little bit above my pay grade at this point. And then if I am going to show Denver in a little bit of the pleasure this year, I don't know exactly if I would go in the amateur Western pleasure or if I would do, since I'm a limited rider, potentially a like non-pro class, which generally is like a non-pro maturity, which is like 5 years and over, which is what he would be in, or I don't know. There's so many different classes that I don't even know which one I would go, but I would potentially show Denver in a Western pleasure class. And the halter, the amateur performance halter stallions. And then, you know, after this week, we're taking Kennedy to a horse show this week. We're going to just kind of feel it out if we think there's potential there to show her. And I don't even know, other than like level 1 Western pleasure and level 1 horsemanship, where that might take us, because I was doing lead changes on her the other day and they looked pretty cute. And I rode her like an equine horse a couple days ago, and I was like, frick, I have to get skinny to show the egg because it was real cute. So I don't know. Like, I had the vet do some x-rays on her just to be sure, because she broke her cannon bone previously, and it's obviously healed, and she's sound, and she showed after she had broken it and healed it. But I was like, I don't want to put all this pressure on her, you know, and be like causing damage. And we like redid x-rays and you know, checked her out. Actually, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? And she looked completely amazing. So maybe Kennedy stuff. But yeah, my show schedule is a little crazy.